Greetings everyone, and welcome to another special Halloween Closer Look. Today we're going to take a look at my collection of the Starship Troopers franchise on DVD and Blu-ray. Now, Starship Troopers, of course, was based on the book by Robert Heinlein, and reunited much of the dream team that had brought us RoboCop a decade earlier. We had Paul Verhoeven directing, Ed Neumeyer, who was one of the two main writers on RoboCop, writing the screenplay, and music by the always wonderful Basil Poledouris. And much like RoboCop, it's full of social commentary and biting satire and ridiculously over-the-top blood and guts violence. This is like a 50s giant bug movie on steroids as space marines are battling just endless swarms of killer alien insects. And it's a little bit of a kaiju movie, too, because some of them are really freaking big. Yeah. Anyway, Starship Troopers. Let's check it out today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, for those of you scratching your head as to why I'm doing this one as a Halloween closer look, well, much for many of the aforementioned reasons. It does have a lot of callbacks to kind of, kaiju and giant insect invasion movies, and the violence, much like RoboCop, is ridiculously gory and over the top. I mean, this movie is a hard R just for the violence and bloodshed alone. I mean, the way some of those Marines get ripped apart by the bugs is, very horror movie. But of course, it's primarily sci-fi action, peppered with social commentary and satire. And definitely an all-time favorite of mine. First time I saw it was on VHS, actually. I think my mom had seen it, and she's a big sci-fi fan, so thought it would be right up my alley. And I loved it immediately, and I thought it was terrific. So the movie, of course, spawned 4 sequels, 2 live action, 2 CG, and a 40-episode all-CG animated television series, which was awesome. So I recently filled in some gaps in the collection, and now I've got the whole darn works. So let's head on down to the black table and check out my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection of Starship Troopers. Okay, starting things off, the lovely little box set of the Starship Troopers Trilogy. Yeah, very nice. I had this set a while back, sold it, and then got it again. And that's pretty much the whole story. Exciting, eh? Bet you're really glad I shared that with you. This is, of course, the Canadian release, so it has French plastered all over the cover. Les Pétroliers de l'espace. La Trilogy. I love Les Pétroliers de l'espace. It's great. I should note, this is actually the only way to get Starship Troopers 2 and 3 on Blu-ray. Yeah, still, as of this date, they do not have individual releases for them. You can only get them in the Trilogy set. So, there you go. So if you're looking to get all the movies, even if you have the first one, you're going to need this Trilogy set to get 2 and 3. So, yeah. Don't know why that is. Don't know why 2 and 3 just don't get any individual release love. Just a minor correction. So it turns out you actually can get the third Starship Troopers movie individually on Blu-ray, but you still can't get the second one anywhere but in the Trilogy set. You can get it on DVD, but if you want the Blu-ray, you got to get the Trilogy set. No idea why. Got just French there, and French and English there, and that's great. They put the English on the bottom, because of course they did. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, there we go. So there's all 3 movies, just the basic credits and whatnot here. They list the extras for all of them on the backs of the individual cases. So I should mention, I am aware that there is a 4K release of the first movie. I don't have it yet. I'm actually planning to get that as an upgrade at some point for the first one. I hear the transfer is excellent on it. Looks really good. So definitely plan to get that for the collection at some point. Right now there wouldn't be much point because at this point in time I don't have a 4K player or a 4K TV. But, you know, someday. Anyway, I'll just slide these out here. So it's a fairly straightforward, just kind of flimsy cardboard box just to hold them all together. So we'll take a look at each individual movie here. So first up, of course, we have the original, which is a classic of science fiction action with a little bit of horror added in there because, let's face it, the bugs are pretty scary and some of the ways they rip people apart is pretty horrifying. But good stuff. Very nice. So this is actually pretty loaded with extras. We'll take a look at that in just a second here. And there's the disc. And let me just slide out the insert so we can get a better look at the picture on the inside here. There we go. Experience more with Blue. Yes. Is this one that says beyond high definition? No, it isn't. That's another. Yeah, you know, some of them say beyond high definition. It's like, no, actually, it's just high definition. There really is no beyond high definition. I don't know what they're going on about. Anyway, so in terms of extras, we've actually got quite a lot on here. Much of which was carried over from the old 2-disc special edition DVD, which I used to have back in the day. That was a great edition, some terrific behind-the-scenes stuff. So, we have all new exclusive special features to this Blu-ray edition. We have FedNet mode, a bonus view, picture-in-picture, with enhanced graphics. Loads of extra content that takes you inside the sci-fi satire and beyond. Includes retrospective comments with the cast and crew about the satirical statements made by the film about the military and politics, and information about the Troopers universe, including discussions about the original novel. Recruitment test, trivia challenge to test viewers on their Troopers skills. Blue Wizard, no idea what that is, but they have it here. Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicles, and more features available in BD Live. So, I'm not sure what it has from Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicles. I mean, presumably it doesn't have all 40 episodes of the series crammed onto one disc along with the movie, but it's nice to have that represented in some way. Okay, just a quick pause here. I had to satisfy my curiosity. I popped the Blu-ray in the player to see what the heck was this something about Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicles. And, well, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing to be found anywhere on that Blu-ray, so I have no idea what they're referring to on the packaging. Maybe they had intended to include something and then didn't at the last minute. I have no idea. Anyway, fear not, we'll be talking about Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicles a little bit later in this closer look. And then the archival extras that carry over from previous releases. We have deleted scenes, director and cast commentary, commentary with Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeyer, Death from Above documentary, the Spaceships of Starship Troopers featurette, screen tests, bug test film, Don't Look Now featurette, FX comparison featurettes, storyboard comparisons, scene deconstructions, the making of Starship Troopers, and Know Your Foe bug featurettes. Yeah, I remember watching the extras on this, and there's actually some really cool fly-on-the-wall segments of where you get to see Paul Verhoeven directing, and just how energetic and manic he is, just kind of putting the actors through the paces, basically kind of describing what's going on and what they're reacting to and stuff, and he gets really into it, and it's just a lot of fun to watch and see how enthusiastic of a director he is. He really engages the actor's imagination quite amazingly. Love Paul Verhoeven. So next up we have the sequel, which I think was a direct-to-video sequel originally. We have Starship Troopers 2, Hero of the Federation. I remember the first time I saw this, my first reaction was, wow, is this ever low budget compared to the first one? Which is fine. I don't care if something's low budget or not, but it just kind of seemed like TV movie level at the time, and it just didn't quite have the same punch as the first one. So we do have some special features on here. We got director, writer, and producer commentary, from green screen to silver screen featurette, and inside the Federation featurette. So not very much there, but we got a few things anyway, so there you go. And as I say, the only way you can get Starship Troopers 2 and 3 is by picking up the Trilogy collection. Fortunately, you can usually get the Trilogy collection pretty cheap. It doesn't go for very much. When I reacquired it for my collection, I think I paid like $20 for it or something, which is a heck of a deal considering all that you get. Should mention also, you may have noticed, these are region free. It's region A, B, and C. So there you go. So even if you're, outside of North America, you can pick these up and have no trouble playing them on your gear. So now we have Starship Troopers 3 Marauder, featuring the return of Johnny Rico himself, Casper Van Dien, which is great. Great to see him back. Really liked him as Johnny Rico. And there we go. And this one has a little bit more in terms of extras. I also remember liking this one a lot more than the second one. This felt more like a proper follow-up, closer to being on the same scope as the first one. So exclusive Blu-ray content, we got Marauder Mode, picture-in-picture featuring pop-up video segments that reveal new information about the characters, special effects, war gear, and story. BD Live, compatible Blu-ray players and PlayStation 3 can download exclusive content and previews. You can tell how long ago this came out, eh? It's you can play it on your PlayStation 3! Yeah, it's the PlayStation 5 era at the time of this video. And loaded with special features, Evolution, the bugs of Starship Troopers 3 Marauder featurette, Enlist, Marauder's mobile infantry featurette, a music video, It's a Good Day to Die extended version, filmmaker's commentary, and a second commentary with the director and cast, with writer-director Ed Neumeyer and actors Casper Van Dien and Jolene Blaylock. Okay, so let's just crack it open here. Oh, very nice disc art, and we'll take a look at the insert again as well. And there we go. Very nice. Slide that back in. And there we go. Alrighty, so the better of the two sequels to the original Starship Troopers. So yeah, this is actually written and directed by Ed Neumeyer, who was, of course, the writer of the first one and a frequent collaborator with Paul Verhoeven. So very nice indeed. And we got a pair of these, which I think are both the same. Came in the box set. Just a little pamphlet about the wonder and splendor of Blu-ray. Hey, look at that. Look at all the cool stuff Blu-ray can give you. That new technology that's just amazing. When did this set actually come out? Let me see here. Okay, 2008. So we can kind of forgive them for that because Blu-ray was only 2 years old at the time. So just going to slide those back in there. So yeah, of course, all the studios were hyping up Blu-ray like crazy, especially Sony. This was Sony Columbia Pictures release, so Sony was especially hyping up Blu-ray because it was, they were one of the big developers of the format. Okay, so next up we have the first of two CG sequels, Starship Troopers Invasion. And I notice in the French title they actually number it, Starship Troopers 4. Or Le Patrouilleurs de l'Espace 4. So, you notice even on the spine, it doesn't have it numbered for the English, but it does have it numbered for the French. So, I don't know why they did that, but that's okay. At least if there's any question as to what order they go in down the road, you know. But, yeah, so this one has a decent selection of extras as well. Very cool. I've heard that this one's really good, actually. I haven't seen it yet, but looking forward to checking it out. once I get around to rewatching the original trilogy. I've watched the first one, I don't know how many times. I just absolutely love it. I've only seen the other two in the original trilogy once, so I'm looking forward to revisiting those and then checking out the 2 CG movies as well. Very nice. So in terms of extras, let's see, Blu-ray exclusive, we have a conceptual art gallery. And then special features, we've got an in-depth 11-part making-of documentary, deleted scenes, filmmaker commentary, and a gag reel. So very, very nice. And then we have the last Starship Troopers movie to date, Starship Troopers Traitor of Mars, La Patrouilleurs de l'Espace 5. Embuscade sur Mars. Those damn embuscades. Anyway, this one actually has the voice of Casper Van Dien, once again back as Johnny Rico, and Dina Meyer back as Dizzy Flores. Wait a minute, didn't she die in the first one? How is she back? Well, you'll have to watch the movie and find out. I couldn't tell you because I haven't seen it yet. And even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you anyway because I wouldn't want to spoil it for you. So there's the spine there. And the back. I'll just take a quick look inside. Oh, no interior art this time. Bummer. Speaking of 4K, this one actually is available in 4K as well, if you want to get a bit of a boost in picture quality there. So in terms of extras, we got quite a pile of stuff here. Traitor of Mars, inside the bugs and powered suits. Traitor of Mars, inside the story and the characters. A photo gallery, a deleted scene, expanding the universe, 20 years and counting, expanding the universe, continuing the universe, and expanding the universe, Traitor of Mars. So quite a lot of extras there. Quite nice. Definitely looking forward to checking this out. I'm intrigued by what direction they go in this one, and am really curious to know how they got Dizzy back. Don't tell me if you know. I want to find out for myself. Next up, in 1999, we were treated to a Starship Troopers television series. An all-CG action fest, 40 episodes of bug-blasting action, and man, did I ever love this show. I actually bought the first few on VHS when they originally came out. It was before I got a DVD player. And then once I got a DVD player, I bought all 8 volumes of the DVDs. There was also a complete series set, which looked like this. Long out of print. This set came out in 2005, I believe. It was actually just bare bones. It didn't have any extras on it. And it also presented the episodes episodically as they would have originally aired. Whereas here, each story arc, which would run for 5 episodes, is edited together into a movie. So, slightly different presentation, but you're really not missing anything. They consolidate all the credits at the end of the movie, and it flows quite nicely as one continuous story. So there was several story arcs over the course of the series, and each one is compiled together into each volume. So this is the Pluto campaign, which is the first story arc. And there's the spine, and then the back. But this is the main reason I kept these ones rather than getting the, more shelf space friendly complete series set, because the complete series set had no extras, and there's actually quite a lot of extras on the individual volumes for these. So we'll just take a look at that in a moment here. So, pretty nice disc art. Very good stuff. And in terms of extras, we've got digitally mastered audio and video, full screen presentation, interactive menus, audio, English 5.1 Dolby Digital and 2-channel Dolby Surround, and French, Spanish, and Portuguese English. Subtitles in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, and Thai. A photo gallery, scene selections, and bonus trailers. Okay, well, I feel like a dumbass. That's not much in the way of extras at all. I was pretty sure there was like some commentaries and stuff on here, but maybe that's on later volumes. So let's move on to the next volume here, and hopefully I won't eat my words when I talk about how wonderful the extras are. Second story arc was the Hydora campaign. Basically, they go to a water planet. And there we go. And there's the back. Yeah, so this one actually does have some additional extras. Yeah, so I actually just ran away and double-checked real quick. Sure enough, the Pluto campaign has nothing for extras. It's got a photo gallery, and that's it. I could have sworn there was commentaries on all 8 volumes, but apparently I misremembered. It's been a while since I watched them. Anyway, this one actually does have some extras. And different disc art there. So with this one, we have... I'm just going to ignore all the language options. Basically the same kind of language options. We've got, what is it? English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese audio. Subtitles in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, and Thai. This one actually has 2 commentary tracks on it. You got a filmmaker's commentary and a technical commentary. The technical commentaries are usually with the animators, and they talk about the process of putting together the animation and whatnot. And it's actually really interesting. I really enjoyed the commentaries on these. They're very, very informative and interesting. Then we've got a conceptual art gallery, bonus trailers, interactive menus, and scene selections. So, yeah, this is still from back in the day when they would list absolutely every feature of the DVD as a special feature. Anyway, that's it for that one. And then the third story arc is the Tophet campaign. I should mention these were originally released out of order, and that drove fans crazy because they wanted the whole series, and it is a continuing story as well. It's very heavily serialized, so it was kind of frustrating for fans who were collecting them that they were missing story arcs in between other story arcs. Like, I think the first 2 releases were the first story arc and the 4th story arc, so they were all over the map. So, hey, look at this. We actually got a booklet with this one. Amazing. Let's check that out. So with the Tophet... Oh, it's not actually... It's just an insert, but I got 2 of them. Cool. Bonus. So yeah, just looks like just a chapter listing here, and they tell you which volumes are currently available. So the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th arcs at that time. So very nice. And just the cover art there. So in terms of extras, here I'll just let you look at this doubling up of the cover art. So in terms of extras, once again we have English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese audio. They actually did the 5.1 remix for the DVDs because, of course, they had all the discrete audio elements, so they're able to do like a full surround mix from that. When it was broadcast on television, it was originally just in stereo. And then subtitles, we have English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, and Thai. And once again, we have both a filmmaker's commentary and a technical commentary, conceptual art gallery, and bonus trailers. So... very cool. It was actually really nice having those extras because you really didn't get a lot of bonus material like that for animated shows at the time. So that was really cool. And they talk a lot about, you know, all the pressure they were under to pump out the episodes by a certain date and whatnot. And, you know, all the shortcuts they took to meet the deadlines and sort of tricks of the trade to get everything done on time and... all kinds of stuff. It was really, really interesting to listen to. They're very frank and honest in the commentaries. Yeah, so this was the 2nd volume that they released at the time. And just spin that around, which is, of course, the 4th story arc, the Tesca campaign. Now, in this case, yeah, so we have same thing. We've got French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Yeah, interestingly enough, this one is not in 5.1 surround. It's just English 2-channel Dolby surround. So it's just the regular surround. What about the first story arc? I think... was that 5.1? Yeah, the first one is 5.1. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe it does have a 5.1 option. It just they forgot to list it on the back. But... And so we got English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Subtitles in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, and Thai. This one does have a filmmaker's commentary. So I guess this was the first commentary track that they did for it. And then a photo gallery and bonus trailers. So, yeah, not too bad. Then we have the Zephyr campaign, which is the 5th story arc. And this takes place on an ice planet. Each campaign would tend to take place on a different planet. So just kind of follow the efforts of the Marines trying to track the bugs and defeat them. So, yeah, see, in this case, now you can tell this is a later release because they're not listing all the language and subtitle and menus and stuff under special features. They're just listing the actual special features. So, yeah, so this one has a filmmaker's commentary, production artwork, filmographies, and trailers. And it actually lists the language options and stuff in the box at the bottom where it should be. And it looks like they don't have anywhere near as many language options on this one either. It's only in English and has no subtitles at all. Wow, guys, really? You couldn't even at least have English subtitles? So, yeah, kind of skimping. As I recall, this was one of the last volumes they released. So, hey, I'm glad we at least got a commentary track on there. But a little disappointing that after they went all out with the subtitles and language volumes on the early volumes, they didn't on some of the later volumes. Next up, we have the Klendathu campaign. Klendathu, of course, being the home planet of the bugs. So, yeah, they bring the fight to the bugs at long last. And there we go. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, see, this one, they've got a lot more options. Not as many language options as the earlier volumes, but they've got a few. Let's take a quick peek here. Very nice. I like the design on the disc art on these. Very nice. So here we've got English, French, and Spanish, 5.1 audio. See, this one doesn't mention the 2.0 audio, so is it only 5.1 on this? I don't know. It seems to be very inconsistent across the sets, but... overall, they sound really good. Love the soundtrack in this show. It's just a gorgeous, sort of techno-y soundtrack, very outer spacey and action-packed. Subtitles in English, Spanish, and French. Once again, we have two commentaries. We have a filmmaker's commentary and a technical commentary, filmographies, and a bonus trailer. So, there you go. Very nice indeed. Next up, we have Trackers, which is a single episode. Now, I should mention, they had, like, a lot of pressure to pump this show out and hit a certain air date that, Sony really had a lot of pressure on them to crank it out quickly. Honestly, they should have pushed it back one more season and put it out a year later. Then they would have been able to do it the way they wanted to. So, a lot of the early episodes went to air when they were still making the show. So they literally didn't have the full order of 40 episodes ready to go at the time that it went on the air. So they did some clip shows to fill the gap a little bit. And so you have a bunch of clip shows with clips of, like, the first couple story arcs. And it's kind of ridiculous. So, that said, the clip shows do have stories to them that do actually fit into the continuity of the main story. So, there's 4 clip shows total. So, there's 36 actual episodes, but there's 4 clip shows that they made to kind of fill in the time there, fill in the gap, and give them some time to crank out the rest of the episodes. As a result, having only a 40-episode order, the story is kind of left unresolved at the end of the final story arc. They had another 5-episode arc that they were going to do that unfortunately they weren't able to do because they ended up using up some of their episode quota with these clip shows. But necessarily so that they could have something on the air. But anyway, if you look in the description, I'll include a little list of where the clip shows fit in between the various story arcs. So if you want to watch everything in order and have the clip shows kind of slotted into the continuity where they should go, I'll include that list for you. It's slightly up to debate as to where specifically they go. I think technically some of them kind of go in between some of the story arcs, like right smack dab in the middle of them. But for the sake of keeping it simple and keeping the story somewhat coherent, I like to just slot them in between the main story arcs. So Trackers is basically a standalone episode that bridges the Klendathu and Homefront campaigns. Now, you can skip the clip shows entirely if you want. You're not really going to be missing anything significant, but I don't know. I like to watch them. They have fun little bridging stories in between the clips that I kind of enjoy. So it's one of those cases where they actually did create a story to go with the clips and not just have clips. So that's kind of nice. See, they call it 4 bonus episodes. Pluto and Beyond, Propaganda Machine, Marooned, and the Court Martial of Lieutenant Razak. Yeah, that's actually the clip shows. But they threw them on here just because they didn't really have anywhere else to put this single episode. So it's like, well, we'll put it on here and then throw the clip shows in. You'll also notice this volume tends to be a lot cheaper than the other volumes for that reason. Let me just crack it open here. Hey, look at that. Considerably different disc art this time. We actually have full color disc art of a couple of the characters. That's pretty nice, actually. But no inserts. I don't know. None of them came with inserts. I think that most of them did come with inserts originally, but I can't remember if I bought these used or new, or it's been a while since I kind of rebuilt the Roughnecks collection in my library. But anyway, what do we got for extras on here? So we got nothing. We have some bonus trailers, which I think are for other things that aren't even Starship Troopers related. It just lists the clip shows as the bonus material. So great, awesome. And then finally, the final story arc, wrapping it all up as best as they could, given their being short 4 episodes. We have the Homefront campaign, and there's some really powerful drama in this final story arc, I gotta say. It really blew me away when I first saw it. So, really, really good stuff. And that's that. So this is as far as it went. There was some talk for a while of bringing it back and doing like a TV movie or something to just properly resolve the storyline, but sadly that never came to fruition, and it's been, well, over 20 years since this aired, so I don't think it's going to happen. In terms of special features, we actually have a pretty good load of stuff here. We got lots of language options once again. We got English 5.1 Dolby Digital. We also have French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Subtitles in English, Spanish, and French. And once again, we have both a filmmaker's commentary and a technical commentary. The filmmaker's commentaries usually are like writers, directors, and the voice actors. Technical commentary is usually the animators. So there you go. Pick whichever stuff is of interest to you. I usually listen to both of them because honestly I find both of them are fascinating, and they both have completely different stuff to talk about in terms of different aspects of production. We also have filmographies and a trailer, and that is it. So if you want to know how the entire collection would look on your shelf of Roughnecks, there you go. It more or less lines up on the spines. It's not too bad. That's pretty nice. But there you go. And then, of course, we have all the movies. I'll just pull back a little bit. So there we go. So we put the movies there. And all those there, I guess. There. More or less. Great stuff. Yeah, if you've never seen Roughnecks, I definitely recommend it. It's a great show. The animation is a little dated by now. I mean, it is from 1999, so 22 years ago. But in terms of the story and the action, I think you'll very quickly get over any misgivings you might have about the animation being dated, as you just get sucked into the story and enjoy it. And yeah, and then of course, once again, if you want all 3 of the movies, you got to buy the Trilogy set. These are available individually. This is also available in 4K, and of course, the first movie, the original movie, is also now available in 4K. I'll upgrade it one of these days. And there you have it. So, quite a lot of bug blasting action to enjoy there across the entire franchise. As always, if you'd like to add any of the DVDs or Blu-rays shown in this video to your own collection, I will of course include Amazon links in the description down below. Big thanks to those of you who use my Amazon links, because it does go to support the show very directly. I get a little kickback every time you buy something through one of those links, and it doesn't cost you anything more. So you literally support the show while you shop, and I really appreciate that a lot, those of you who use my links. So thank you very much. Alrighty, well that is it from me to you for now. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Don't forget to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day. And I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.